Hello everyone, I am the Timeline Secrets, so before that, like the video and subscribe to the channel. The ruins hidden beneath the shifting sands of the Karakum Desert have long been a subject of heated debate among scholars. While mainstream historians dismiss them as mere natural formations or the remnants of early human settlements, others insist they are far older, the last vestiges of a forgotten age. Local nomads have always feared the site, speaking in hushed tones of the Közeteri, the Watchers, silent, eyeless sentinels whose presence predates the dawn of human civilization. When the Soviet expedition set out in 1926, they ignored the warnings of those who knew the land's secrets. What they discovered, or what discovered them, remains one of history's most chilling unsolved mysteries. During the early years of the Soviet Union, a wave of scientific exploration swept across Central Asia. Geologists, archaeologists, and ethnographers were sent deep into the deserts and mountains of Kazakhstan, tasked with cataloging the region's natural and cultural history. However, among the many documented Soviet expeditions, one stands apart, not for its discoveries, but for its inexplicable disappearance. The 1926 Kazakhstani expedition, allegedly composed of 12 members, set out to investigate an unusual ruin deep in the Karakum Desert. Their stated objective was to analyze geological formations, but scattered accounts suggest they were also searching for something much older, something that had lingered beneath the shifting sands for untold centuries. What began as a scientific venture ended in complete mystery. The team vanished without a trace, leaving behind only fragmented reports and unsettling testimonies. Official Soviet records are sparse, and those that do exist fail to mention any of the bizarre circumstances surrounding the expedition. Nevertheless, whispers of their fate have persisted, drawing the interest of historians, occult researchers, and those who believe that something ancient still watches from the desert's depths. The origin of the ruins the team sought to explore remains unclear. Indigenous Kazakh tribes have long spoken of a forbidden place, a desolate, wind-scoured plateau where the ground itself hums at night. According to local legend, the site was once home to the Közeteri, or Watchers, entities that neither ate nor slept, only observed. These beings, it is said, predated all known civilizations and were neither gods nor men but something wholly different. The Watchers were described as tall, featureless figures with elongated limbs, standing motionless against the horizon. They never spoke, nor did they interact with the living, save for one horrifying detail. Those who gazed upon them for too long were said to lose their minds. Legends tell of shepherds who stumbled upon the ruins and returned as hollow husks, their eyes empty and their voices gone. Others who ventured too close were never seen again. The nomads believed that the Közeteri were bound to the ruins by some ancient purpose, eternally guarding a secret too terrible for human knowledge. 19th century Russian explorers documented stories from nomads who warned that the land was cursed. Some recounted tales of travelers disappearing without a trace, while others spoke of eerie lights flickering in the night sky. It was said that, on certain nights, the ruins pulsed with an unnatural glow, and strange whispers carried across the dunes. Carvings found on scattered stones depicted spiral patterns, elongated eyes, and strange geometric shapes that did not conform to any known artistic tradition. Some Russian accounts even mentioned an old, half-mad Kazakh shaman who claimed to have deciphered a portion of the inscriptions. According to his translations, the runes spoke of an eternal gaze that outlasts the turning of stars and a threshold beneath the sands where the silent ones wait. These statements were dismissed by Soviet scholars as the ramblings of a deluded mystic, but they bear an unsettling resemblance to descriptions found in much older, forbidden texts. By the time of the 1926 expedition, rumors of strange findings had already surfaced among academic circles in Leningrad. Unconfirmed reports spoke of megalithic structures half buried in the sand, inscribed with symbols resembling no known script. The team, led by geologist Dr. Alexei Volkov, was determined to reach the site and document whatever remained. On May 17, 1926, Volkov and his team established a base camp at the edge of the ruins. Initial radio transmissions indicated that they were proceeding with their survey, describing an unexpectedly complex network of underground chambers. Then, without warning, All communication ceased. When a relief party arrived 2 weeks later, they found the camp abandoned. Personal belongings, notebooks, and equipment lay undisturbed. Yet there were no signs of struggle. The team's tents were intact, and food supplies remained untouched. The only anomaly was a series of unusual footprints, deep, elongated impressions in the sand that did not match any known animal or human pattern. Volkov's journal was discovered in his tent, open to a partially completed entry. His last recorded words were cryptic. "The watchers are no longer silent. We are seeing." Further entries in his journal, written days before their disappearance, described a growing sense of unease among the team. Members reported strange auditory phenomena, low-frequency vibrations that seemed to emanate from the ground itself, disrupting their sleep and causing vivid nightmares. One scientist, Dr. Vasily Petrov, noted that the carvings they uncovered depicted figures with elongated eyes arranged in an unbroken, circular pattern. Another researcher, Ivan Rostov, became obsessed with a set of symbols that he claimed shifted when not directly observed. The final pages of Volkov's journal contained increasingly erratic handwriting, as though written in haste or under duress. He mentioned a whispering presence at the edges of their camp and suggested that they were being watched, not metaphorically, but literally, by something just beyond their comprehension. His final entry was scrawled in uneven script, the ink smeared as if his hand had been trembling. "They are watching from beneath. The sand is not empty." Despite the disturbing nature of the sight, Soviet authorities swiftly shut down the investigation. The expedition was declared lost due to environmental exposure, and official inquiries ceased. Over time, the entire event was quietly erased from Soviet academic records. Those who persisted in questioning the disappearance faced obstacles at every turn. Dr. Yevgeny Antonov, a historian who attempted to re-examine Volkov's notes in 1932, was arrested on charges of counter-revolutionary activities. Others who tried to research the expedition met similar fates, their work confiscated and their reputations destroyed. By 1940, even the existence of the ruins had become a matter of dispute. Later maps omitted any mention of them, and Soviet geologists who visited the region reported nothing but barren desert, whether by bureaucratic suppression or something far stranger. The ruins had seemingly been erased from history. Despite official silence, theories about what happened to the expedition persist. Some believe that the team stumbled upon an ancient structure predating known civilization, a site that certain powers deemed too dangerous to be exposed. Others suggest that the expedition made contact with something beyond human comprehension. A handful of occult researchers have drawn comparisons between the Kazakhstani site and other enigmatic locations, such as the ruins beneath Nan Madol in the Pacific or the subterranean labyrinths beneath Cappadocia. Some grimoire scholars have pointed to texts like Unexplained Kulton, which speaks of those who lurk beneath the wastelands where men dare not tread, describing them as silent but ceaseless observers who have neither form nor flesh as we understand them. The text further hints at rituals performed in forgotten epochs to appease these unseen entities, warning that disturbing their slumber invites madness and dissolution. The Necronomicon makes vague allusions to buried watchmen who outlasted empires, their vigil uninterrupted since the primordial dawn. In certain disputed passages, it speaks of ruins that predate even the first cities, where stone monoliths are inscribed with sigils that shift when unobserved. These sentinels, described only in elliptical phrases, are said to stir when certain astral alignments occur, marking the return of knowledge that was meant to remain lost. The De Vermis Mysterious delves deeper, referencing sentinels of forgotten gods who remain sealed in stone crypts beneath the sands. It speaks of blasphemous excavations in the Syrian desert and the ruins of Iram, the city of pillars, where scholars uncovered chambers that should not have been accessible by mortal means. The book warns that these guardians are not dead but merely waiting, bound by sigils older than humanity itself. It suggests that those who trespass upon their domain risk more than mere physical harm. Their minds unravel, their bodies become hollowed vessels, and their names are erased from all memory. The Book of Ibn corroborates these accounts, speaking of a sect that once worshipped the Watchers as harbingers of forgotten cycles of time. It describes a temple, lost beneath shifting dunes, where statues of elongated beings stand in eternal contemplation. Ancient incantations recorded in the text hint at ways to awaken them, but even Ivan himself cautioned against such folly, claiming that those who succeed are fated never to be seen again. Across these grimoires, a pattern emerges. The Watchers are always present, always silent, and always waiting. Whether they are protectors, prisoners, or something far worse remains an unanswered, and perhaps unanswerable, question. There are also those who believe that the team's demise was not merely a tragic accident, but an act of intervention. If the legends of the Közeteri hold any truth, it may be that these ancient Watchers did not welcome the intrusion. To this day, no conclusive explanation has been given for the disappearance of Volkov and his team. The Soviet records remain incomplete, and the location of the ruins is unknown, if they ever existed at all. Yet, local stories of eerie lights and shadowy figures persist, and modern travelers claim to hear whispers when the desert winds rise. Was the 1926 expedition simply the victim of an environmental catastrophe, swallowed by sandstorms or dehydration? Or did they uncover something they were never meant to find? If the answers still lie beneath the Kazakhstani desert, they remain buried deeper than human memory dares to reach.